Donald Trump has signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act into law, and we are literally weeks away from what could be the final data dump in December. And the internet is absolutely losing its mind. But here's the thing, and this is crucial because most of what you're seeing online right now is complete garbage. Fake lists, memes, screenshots that look official but are totally fabricated. So today, we're doing something different. We're ignoring the conspiracy rabbit holes and going straight to the source. The actual court documents, the sworn testimony, and the flight logs that have already been unsealed. Because when it comes to Hollywood and Epstein, the truth is way more complicated and honestly way more disturbing than any meme could capture. You will find all the proofs in the description box below, and without wasting time on a long intro, let's unpack the Epstein celebrity connections. Let's start with something that most people don't understand about Jeffrey Epstein. He was a collector, and not just of money or art, but of names, and he weaponized those names like some currency. Here's how it worked. According to court testimony from Johanna Schoberg, one of Epstein's victims who gave massages at his Palm Beach home, Epstein was constantly working the phones, and when he'd hang up, he'd casually drop a name. Oh, that was Leonardo DiCaprio. That was Kate Blanchett. Or that was Cameron Diaz. Schoberg was directly asked in her deposition, "Did you ever meet Leonardo DiCaprio or Kate Blanchett?" And her answer was, she did not meet them. She clarified that when she spoke about these celebrities, it was only because Epstein would name drop them after phone calls to impress the girls around him. So let's be crystal clear here. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Blanchett, Cameron Diaz, Bruce Willis. These people were mentioned in the documents, but only as examples of Epstein bragging. Cameron Diaz's representative even had to issue a statement explicitly stating, Cameron never met Jeffrey Epstein, nor was she ever in the same place as him. This is the first tier of the Epstein files, what I'm calling the brag list. These are people Epstein used to impress young victims. He pretended to know them better than he actually did. Being on this list doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It means Epstein was using your name without your knowledge. Now let's talk about the people who were actually in Epstein's orbit, because this is where things get nuanced and honestly really uncomfortable. Take Michael Jackson. Johanna Schoberg testified that she met Michael Jackson at Epstein's Palm Beach home. When asked if she massaged him, she said she did not. Nothing inappropriate happened. Jackson was there, but there is no testimony suggesting he participated in anything criminal. Compare that to David Copperfield. Schoberg recalled meeting the magician at a dinner at Epstein's house. Copperfield did some magic tricks, but then Schoberg testified that Copperfield questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls. Now stop and think about what that means. That's not casual conversation. That is showing awareness of the recruitment operation. When asked if Copperfield got more specific, Schoberg said no, but the fact that he brought it up at all? That is a completely different level of knowledge than someone like Michael Jackson, who was just there. This distinction matters. Being witnessed at Epstein's properties doesn't automatically equal guilt, but showing awareness of what was happening? That's smoke and not proof, but definitely smoke. Okay, so we've covered the name drops and the social circle. Now let's talk about the people with sustained documented relationships with Jeffrey Epstein. First up, the Black Book. Epstein's contact list has been public since 2015 when Gawker leaked it, and it had everyone from Alec Baldwin to Mick Jagger. But here's what most people miss. Having someone's phone number in your contacts doesn't mean you're best friends. It just means Epstein collected your info. The real smoke comes from the calendars and schedules because in 2023, the Wall Street Journal reviewed over 8,000 pages of documents and Epstein's detailed calendars, daily schedules, and flight manifests, and one name kept appearing over and over, which is Woody Allen. According to these documents, Allen had scheduled recurring meetings with Epstein, not random party invitations, monthly dinners and appointments. Allen himself admitted in a recent interview that he and his wife, Soon-Yi Previn, were regular guests at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse. Allen said, "We would go and there was always a table of illustrious people, college professors, scientists, Nobel laureates. But it gets darker." Allen wrote Epstein an email in 2011, years after Epstein's initial 2008 conviction, comparing Epstein's home to Castle Dracula and referencing the young women who served food at the parties. Let me repeat that. Allen knew about Epstein's conviction, and he still attended dinners, and he still maintained correspondence. Allen claims he never ever saw Jeffrey with underage girls. And to be fair, there is no testimony accusing Allen of criminal wrongdoing. But this wasn't a one-time encounter. This was a sustained relationship. Now, the flight logs. Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker flew with Epstein, Bill Clinton, and Ghislaine Maxwell to Africa in September 2002. The trip was supposedly humanitarian, but here's the thing. One of Epstein's victims, Chante Davies, was also on that plane. She later testified that she was repeatedly raped and abused by Epstein during that period. Kevin Spacey addressed this in a 2025 interview, claiming he met Epstein on that trip but never saw him again, and never went to any island. But being on the flight logs is the strongest physical evidence of direct contact. It's documented, it's timestamped, it's undeniable. So where does this leave us? Trump signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act on November 19, 2025. The law requires the Department of Justice to release all unclassified files within 30 days. That puts the deadline right around mid-December. But, and this is important, because there are exceptions. The DOJ can redact victims' names and withhold material that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. Attorney General Pam Bondi has confirmed they are opening new investigations, which could delay portions of the release for months. Also, certain documents have already been blocked by judges. Back in August 2025, a federal judge rejected efforts to release specific sealed records, meaning those pages won't be included in the December drop. And let's be honest, much of the really damaging evidence, photos, videos, the alleged masseuse list, will likely remain redacted to protect victims. So will we get bombshells in December? Maybe, but temper your expectations. The most explosive stuff might never see the light of day. When it comes to Hollywood and Epstein, there are basically 3 tiers based on all current research. Tier 1, the brag list. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Blanchett, Cameron Diaz. Epstein name-dropped them, they likely never met him. They are innocent. Tier 2, the social circle. Alec Baldwin, Mick Jagger, Naomi Campbell. Their names are in the contact book, maybe they attended a party, but there is no hard evidence of wrongdoing. Tier 3, the frequent flyers. Woody Allen with his documented monthly meetings. Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker on the plane to Africa. These are sustained, documented connections that go beyond casual acquaintance. The December drop could change everything, or it could just confirm what we already know. Either way, the question isn't who is on the list, because that question misunderstands how Epstein operated. The real question is, how deep did the connections go? So drop your predictions in the comments. And look, let's keep it evidence-based. No conspiracy theories, no fake lists, just the documents. Because the truth is disturbing enough without making stuff up. Alright, that's it for today. If this video helped you make sense of the Epstein Files mess, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more deep dives like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.